Brandon Bryan. He's Harlem Capital's managing partner.
I don't know if we pointed out that fund won $40 million, but now your firm is managing, $174 million in assets.
Come on. Oh, no, hustling like a, come on. I just need my girl, come on. But she's...
Today we have a few things going on. Some of my calls got moved around. We have a bunch of internal work. The interesting thing about venture capital in general is that a majority of your day is spent on calls or in-person meetings, and then you actually get work done after the workday is over. That's the place where people can become great or just be average. It's really easy to book your day full of in-person meetings, Zoom calls, etc. But it's hard to, after that, have the agency to follow up, to close the loop, to be creative, to try to make an introduction. And then after that, I have an in-person meeting with a founder that I've been tracking. And tracking means someone you're keeping tabs on. They might be working at a company right now, or they might be in stealth mode, like pre-launch. And you want to be top of mind and the first person that they reach out to when they start a company. So I have a young lady who I've been tracking since pre-pandemic. She sold her first company to Google, and she's currently working at like a high growth tech startup. And she mentioned that she would be building something very soon. So my job is to do whatever I can to help her in current today's affairs, to be top of mind whenever she starts her new company. And then last meeting of the day is meeting with two founding engineers at one of the very new AI tech startups here in the city. People who are going to be founding engineers at a company, or founding anything, first business hire, founding engineer, first customer service hire. Those people are very likely to start a company in the future. So you have to play the long game of, even if someone may not start a company for the next 2 to 3 years, was I giving them love? Was I building them trust? Was I sending introductions to them? Were they getting inserted into some of our programming, coming to some of our events, so that when they do start something, I'm the first to ask. We do a whiteboard session. I get them an introduction. I introduce them to some of their first employees. And so that when they actually fundraise, clear no-brainer, obvious yes. Brandon should be one of the lead investors in my first round of funding.
How often do like early hires and startups end up starting companies, and what's the value in speaking with them?
From what I understand, 2024, 2025, there were like dozens of rounds, like first rounds, seed rounds that were over $100 million. Like seed rounds are typically like $2 to $3 million. That's where we invest as Harlem Capital. But over the last 2 years, there's been tons of companies coming out of stealth, raising hundreds of millions. Even people who've raised $1 billion for their first round of capital. Why? Because they were founding team members at many of these labs like OpenAI, Anthropic, Perplexity. I mean, I'll give you an example. It could literally be, this was the person who helped create ChatGPT. And now they're leaving OpenAI to start their own company to work on models that are trying to be ChatGPT for the bio space, which is actually true. It's Periodic Labs. They launched with like $300 million seed round. And so why is it important to meet these founding team members? Because like they basically, you could be a founding engineer, but you might literally do everything. You might do sales because there's no one else at the company. You might do customer service. You might do product because the 50th engineer might literally only just write a few lines of code. So it's very different than the founding engineer who literally had to build the tech stack from scratch. Mm-hmm. And so once they know how to do that job, there's only one more job to do, which is like actually be the man or woman in the arena who starts the idea from scratch. And then last piece, when you are a founding team member, you move up, you become a leader, but you start to fix all the problems in the company. And so when you spin out and start your own company, you solve a problem that you had when you were a leader super early at your last company. So there's a lot of examples of that. So those are the people who really understand whatever pain point they're solving. Mm-hmm. They know the buyer that they're selling to, and they know how to like recruit the right people to kind of help solve that problem because they've seen it before.
Right. And do you come here every day?
Yeah.
Do you walk here every day?
I walk here every day. This is actually the favorite view. So this view in Dumbo, there's a famous street in Dumbo, I think it's Washington Street, where it's like the most photographed place. And typically any day of the week, there's literally hundreds, if not thousands of people just trying to take a picture. And the issue is that everyone's in everyone else's picture. But this photo, this right here, is actually way better than that picture. And this is a 5-minute walk away from where everyone is.
Yeah.
But no one knows about it. I sometimes try to do the Andrew Huberman, where it's like, all right, get up, get sun. And then in one of his videos, he talked about water. Like water is like calming and soothing. And people who live closer to water typically are like happy. Typically people who live in warmer temperatures are happy too. Right? Sometimes I just like sit and think. And then I really focus on having nothing in my ears.
Yeah.
A lot of times when I'm walking in here. Unless it's like super motivational or like a podcast I really need to go deep on. Yeah, this is like my favorite view of New York City.
Biked over that one quite a few times.
That's Williamsburg over there.
I had no idea. I now have a better idea, I think. Yeah, Dumbo's cool. That building is really cool.
Yeah. So I went to the Colin and Samir show that was there. Casey Neistat was a special guest, and so was Stephen Bartlett of the Diary of a CEO. I met so many individuals who were super serious about YouTube and saw some of the people I really admire. Like most people volunteered and they got a chance to go for free. I think it was like $400 or $500.
Wow.
Yo, you gotta invest in yourself. You gotta be in the room. You gotta learn from the best. And if you're not doing that, I think you're wasting your time. Or you're lying to yourself.
Yeah.
Because there's no way you can become an expert at something and be number one if you're not competing against the best people in that field and space.
Yeah.
If you don't know what greatness looks like, how are you going to be great? And so I've been working with my mentors and everyone in my network to just spend time around greatness, like in any space. Like if you're great at piano, I want to just like sit with you and understand how you practice piano.
Yeah. How important is mentorship in like becoming successful, and also how do you find the perfect mentor?
Yeah, I think mentorship is super important. At all times, in my opinion, you should be getting mentored by somebody or spending time with somebody who's doing exactly what you want to do. The second thing is the middle level. You should be around peers who are striving to be great at something or like tackle something, have purpose on something. And then the third place is like you should be mentoring younger people, paying it forward and taking care of folks. And I think that's like healthy. You have to think about it. Back in the day, like in history, people were apprentices. Like you had an apprenticeship. You learned under somebody and you like gather all the details and specifics. They helped you see around corners. They help you get back up when you failed. And then you become a blacksmith or a baker or this, that, another. And that's how the world was built. And so I think that's the same thing with business, investing, what have you. Studying under somebody is a gift. People really love Jamie Dimon. If you read about Jamie Dimon, he had a big time mentor at Citibank who took him under his wing and helped like catapult his career. Now he's like arguably one of the best bankers of all time since literally JP Morgan himself. Have you seen the $500,000 or Dinner with Jay-Z? There's like a cool meme where people talk about, hey, would you rather have $1 million or this or that, or have a dinner with somebody? Jay-Z comes up, or like Obama or some other people come up, Elon comes up. And a lot of people say, and I agree with them, being able to sit down with Jay or Elon or Sam, like it might be worth more than $1 million.
Yeah.
Because the gems, the details, the things that they've seen, like they've lived lives that many people on earth, like less than 0.00001% have seen. So that advice, you can make millions off that advice, not just one. You go M for M. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I meant, can you see on the camera in the back?
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm sure you can see the Empire. It's pretty big.
yeah.
All right, guys. Another episode. Today we talked about making your own luck. Anyone can do these things. It doesn't matter what part of the journey you're in. You can potentially make progress to make your own luck, to connect your own dots, and to be fierce and ruthless and go after the things that you want in life. Please let your boy know things that you want me to talk about, whether it be about deals, whether it be about investing in general. How do you fundraise for your company? Or how do you think about hiring your first employees? How do you think about engineering? I would love to answer the questions. Anything that you got for me, let me know in the comments.